This is the book. A new book haul. Not really. The great big haul. One book. This is the latest book I got. It took a few weeks to get this. I planned to read it quickly as a biography. I thought it would be quite easy to read, but then I opened it, and that's some pretty small typing. And at the moment, I'm already reading a couple books. Here's one book I really want to finish before I get onto that. So this book on Terrence McKenna is going to have to wait, because if you know Terrence McKenna, they called him a wordsmith. He was very good with words, and it seems the author of this book has also not written it as a standard non-fiction. It's actually quite poetic, so I want to spend my time on this. So I'm going to leave this until I can actually appreciate it. It's pretty thick too. I don't know how many, like into nearly 500 pages. I don't read much non-fiction, even less. Well, I probably read as many autobiographies as I do non-fiction. Non-fiction isn't my I like more supernatural, fantasy kind of older books. Instead, I just finished listening to on YouTube 24 hours, collation of 24 hours worth of lectures by Terrence McKenna. Over 2 weeks, of course. It got to the point sometimes where I would come home and in my own head, my own narration, my own thoughts were in the voice of Terrence McKenna, and that's when I would, that was enough. He doesn't have the best voice. I mean, my voice, I listen to what I've been recording of my own voice. I don't like my own voice, and I think his is a little bit more nasally. I like his voice as he speaks in his lectures, but I could not listen to Terrence McKenna reading a book. I don't listen to many audio books, and I'm very, very picky with the voices that I can listen to. I only really listen to audiobooks of my favorite all-time author. Actually, Algernon Blackwood. I'm quite proud of the collection I have of Algernon Blackwood. At this stage, I don't have many repetitions. Out of all those collections I have, there's only like half a dozen stories that actually overlap. So I'm trying to collect all of his books. That is my favorite author of all time, Algernon Blackwood. It's another biography. And in fact, he's mostly short stories. I've been getting into his longer stories, which are children's stories. I'll have to talk about that more. But since I have a toddler and I work full-time in a factory, and I have to clean the house and cook, at the end of the night, I barely have 20 minutes every night or less to actually read. I love reading, but the last few years I've had time to only read short stories or things that really interest me. And to be honest, the last 5 years or so, I've only read Algernon Blackwood. I haven't read any really modern books. I don't read really modern books, I go to the bookstore. I love going to the bookstore, flipping through, but I get to the prose just seems boring and nothing picks me. This is actually the most modern book that I have bought and read. I think this is probably 4 years old. That's the most modern book I have. I quite actually enjoy better older novels, older stories like M.R. James. It's something different about authors, the way they used to write before TV was a thing. They're just more lively. I just love these types of stories better. Who else? I have a couple Lovecraft collections, but as I was just discovering Lovecraft, I discovered Algernon Blackwood, and I prefer him. As I said, I've been reading Algernon Blackwood solely for the last 4 or 5 years. And I discovered him about 20 years ago. And since then I've fallen in love, and I'm just going to build my collection of Algernon Blackwood. He's a great writer. I probably wouldn't like him in real life. I probably wouldn't like Terrence McKenna in real life. He probably wouldn't like me, but what's the saying? You never meet your heroes. But this is my book haul. A single book. Well, actually, I did win this book. I just bought this book as well. Before this book, I got this book I got it for a deal, actually. I think it's a second edition. It's one of Algernon Blackwood's it's not a children's book, of course, but it's more of it's a ways from his short story and spiritually dark stories. The longest stories he has, they go into the complete opposite. They're just as supernatural, but they're full of light. It's starlight and magic and just alive with love, it's very strange compared to all his short stories, which all I knew were his short stories before I started reading his longer fiction. And I'm falling in love with the magic he has in his longer stories. So, I've read most of these of his. I'll have to sort out exactly what I have there and do a video on those. And when I finally, get to reading this one, I'll do a book review on Strange Attractor. I think there's only one printing place, because this took 6 weeks to get to me. It went from San Francisco to another place in America, then it went to Canada, then it went to England, and then it stopped off in China before it finally came to me in Australia. This thing went around the world just to get this. So, if you haven't heard of this and you love Terrence McKenna, if you're like just getting into him. If you haven't, go listen to some of his lectures. Particularly, which lecture would I say? There's one on shamans in the age of intelligent machines. It goes for about an hour. That's a really good one to start on. Shamans in the age of intelligent machines. I think that's it. Go start there. Really thought-provoking. All right.